Hi guys, this is going to be an intro into Lab 8 Mechanical Gears. In this lab we are going to be building a series of different gear systems while you are further experimenting how to work with the different VEX parts. This lab is going to be divided into two parts when we look at where your grade comes from. Part of your grade is going to be from participating, so you need to make sure that each member of the group is rotating through and doing their part. We don't have just one person in the group building. It will be very important that you rotate the responsibility of the leader all the way through and keep rotating as you continue to build. The other half of this is going to be turning in your notes, which will be embedded within this document. So let's take a look at what you're going to do first. So this is the only area of this lab where I'm going to give you actually a parts list of what it is you're going to be building. This base structure should be considered kind of like the framework that we have seen when a house is being built. This framework is going to actually hold all of the different gear systems. You will not take this framework apart that you see in the picture until we're done with this lab. Okay. Even if one of my models happens to be where I have no base plate, that was just simply because I ran out of the number of base plates I had. You are still going to build all of your models on this system. Now, in this picture, it shows with standoffs at each corner and then also in the center here. We're actually only going to need 4 of those. Okay, we don't need the 5th one in the middle. And that's what you're going to notice. The one in the middle adds extra stability. We don't have to have it. So remember, yours does not have to match exactly what you see in my pictures. I do suggest on this one, they used the 1-inch standoffs. I will have you use at least the 2-inch. If we run out of those, you can use the 3-inch standoffs. It just gives your fingers more space to work between this outside plate and this C-channel. Okay, this is going to be bolted down to the base plate, and again, you'll be able to see the model at the front of the room. But again, drawing your attention to, it is not necessary for all models to look exactly like the photographed models in my document here, as long as your mechanism is working correctly. Okay, so the first gear system you're going to build is going to be 2 different versions. We're going to call the first one Simple Gear Train A, and the second Simple Gear Train B. So we can see in this system, pictures are a little bit blurry, but that's intentional. I don't want you counting the number of holes that I put over. Yours can be on there, just the big things. Make sure your gears are not touching the base plate. Make sure the gears are threaded to each other. In this example, I used 2 60 tooth gears. You could use 2 30 tooth gears or 36 tooth gears. You could use 2 84 tooth gears. It doesn't matter the size of the gears. The importance in this one is that the gears are the same size. This green structure that you'll see in the picture on the right that's sticking up in the top right corner is a crank. You will not need a crank for any of these mechanisms you're building. Okay, so I don't have enough for every group to have one, so leave this part off. You will not need to worry about that. You're also going to notice that in these there is no shaft that is sticking out the end here. It's perfectly fine. You can use 2 12-inch shafts. You'll just have extra sticking out on both sides. Okay, again, the importance of this system is that you have 2 gears, same size, that are touching. Okay, that when you spin one as the input, the other will turn. The section below the pictures, I will always give some basics about each mechanism. This is going to be important to read. This is going to review some of those things that you went over in the videos, but these are going to be key things that you would be asked during our mechanism quiz. Okay, so after you build this, you're going to put at least 1 photo up here. Okay, you're going to need at least 1 photo of your system in there. Okay, the notes you're going to write down might be the size of gears that you guys used, or as you compare yours to my model, maybe you realize that you left the bearing flats off. And remember, the bearing flats are the black, they almost look like a traffic light where there's the 3 holes, and they help stabilize the shaft. Maybe you realize that you forgot to add those. So you put that note down here, forgot to add bearing flats. Okay. After you build the first one, if there's an error, you're not going to necessarily go back in and rebuild it. You're going to just move on to the next one. So in the next system, you're building what we are referring to as simple gear train B. So again, one bigger gear, one smaller gear. Sizing, again, doesn't matter. We just want to make sure that the gears are not touching the bottom of the base plate. Okay, and once you're done, you can photograph and put in your notes, again, comparing yours to my model from the front of the room. On each of my models, you're going to notice the silver shaft collar at the end, which is holding the gear in place. At the time that the photos were taken, they did not have the rubber shaft collars, and the rubber shaft collars just push into place. So know that you can sub that silver shaft collar that's holding the gear on out for one of the black rubber shaft collars. Okay. Third gear system you're going to be building is the simple gear train with idler. The idler is this gear in the center. It's going to basically be controlling the direction of our input versus our output. Remember, your picture doesn't have to match mine exactly. You could have a small gear, a bigger gear, and a smaller gear, okay? As long as you have at least the 3 in a row. Again, read through the important notes, photograph, and write down your own personal notes as you move along. Bevel gear, these are gears that you don't already have in your kit. They are a little bit different in where the teeth are. They are going to meet at a 90-degree angle. Notice that at the end of this, there is no shaft collar, and there's not a whole lot of the actual shaft sticking out either. Okay, these are going to be held in place just by simply being pinched together at that perfect 90-degree angle. Again, the shaft that we see in the right part of the picture, or the crank that we see on the shaft here in the right part of the picture, we're not going to be needing that. Okay, procedure again, after you build, same as what follows. You're going to do your photo and your notes. Now, in some of my models, I have more than one. So I will have this bevel gear system on the same build plate in the front of the room as the other. You won't do that. You're going to build one system at a time. And that is to limit the number of shafts that we have in each kit so that another group doesn't run out of the parts that they're going to need. Again, I didn't have enough base plates, so that's why I put 2 of mine on one. You just need to remember, build one system, take your picture, take your notes, take it apart, and then move on to your next one. Next one here is the worm and wheel. This is the worm down below. It is a small worm gear, and then the gear on top is a 24-tooth gear. Okay, and again, we do not need the crank in this. You can simply use your fingers to manually turn that shaft to get the system moving. Okay, you're going to notice in this is our first system that is not reversible. Okay, so I cannot have this wheel as my input. Okay, the only input for this system is my worm gear. Okay, next gear system you're going to be building is the chain drive, also known as the chain and sprocket system. This one, again, it does not matter what size sprockets you use. These are not in your kit. Sprockets have the larger teeth on them. Okay, and notice the chain you're using is the smaller gray link. There is tread over with the robotics parts, and we're not using that tread. You need to make sure that you have the adjustable chain. Chain is not stretchy like a rubber band. It does open up and resize, and it's also a very limited part. So as you get chain, you will resize it to fit whatever yours is. So you'll open the chain up into a straight line, close it together to see how much or how many links that you need to take out. Once you realize that, you'll take the extra links out and immediately put those extra links back up because another group is going to be needing those. Okay, so chain drive does not matter again what sprockets you use. Just need a big one and a small one, and make sure again that it's not going to be brushing along the bottom of your base plate. Crank and slider. This one is a little bit more important as far as where the spacers are at. So when you look at my model, pay very close attention. This long bracket here that is silver is called a linear slide. Okay, behind that linear slide, I actually have large spacers that prevent it from tipping up over the plate. Okay. This green piece here is an outer slide truck, okay, and it threads onto the linear slide. This is a plate, so you'll see a bucket of 1x plates. As long as it's 13 holes long or longer, you can use that, okay? And this is a bolt. It will actually bolt directly into that outer slide truck. There is going to be a spacer kind of back before I bolt the 1x plate into this outer slide truck. There is a large spacer back here where I'm wiggling my arrow. So pay attention to that in the model. There's a large spacer back here behind where this will bolt onto my cam. The cam is this shell-shaped gear. Make sure when you select your cam that you pick one that has these kind of center gray pieces on it. Those gray pieces are what will hold it in place, and they fall out of the cams very easily. There is no shaft collar on the outside holding this cam in place. When this plate slides around and it rotates very closely to where the cam shaft is. And so we have to make sure that there's no excess shaft sticking out, because it will then not allow it to rotate. All right, last gear system will again use the cam gear, okay, spaced off. This is a follower. The green piece that is the taller piece, and then the gray rectangle is a follower bracket. Okay, it's hard to tell in these pictures, but there is a shaft collar holding this on the outside. So you will want to make sure that you have a shaft collar so that cam gear does not slide off of there. You have to kind of play around with how high you put the follower and the follower bracket. If not, as you rotate, you're going to notice that the follower will get stuck in this corner. So when you line things up, you want to not line up your follower in this crevice here, okay? You want it to be off to the side. A lot of people want to line it up right directly down the middle of that plate. You actually want it off to the side so that when it lines up, it is lining up with that curved edge of the cam gear. That's where the appropriate starting point is. And again, in the center, you're going to notice it's going to get locked up and won't rotate. Each gear system, again, make sure you are getting a nice clear photograph and getting all of your notes taken about how yours compares to my model, what you might have done right, what you might have done wrong or needed to fix. That way that you can use this as a reference as you move into other labs, and we can see what you want to make sure to do the next time if you are possibly building that gear system.